While like said them they a studio advice. I know everybody I go like we, still we irie. Come in no love likes, in a dancehall style. I know everybody I go like, still we irie. Cause we no love likes, no. So every time I rise, we do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Make them know success don't come overnight. No make them know a substance over hype. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. No for them love likes, that's alright. Sit down on a post and a tweet all night. Sit them on social media type. While like said them they a studio. I know everybody I go like we, still we irie. Come in no love likes, in a dancehall style. I know everybody I go like, still we irie. Cause we no love likes, no. So every time I rise, we do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. Make them know success don't come overnight. No make them know a substance over hype. Do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. No for them love likes, that's alright. Sit down on a post and a tweet all night. Sit them on social media type. While like said them they a studio advice. Oh me never put them up on no flight.
Attention, people of Jamaica, the public record, and for honorable clarification. United Nations Charter, full text, Preamble. We the peoples of the United Nations determined to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, which twice in our lifetime has brought untold sorrow to mankind, and to reaffirm faith in fundamental human rights, in the dignity and worth of the human person, in the equal rights of men and women and of nations large and small, and to establish conditions under which justice and respect for the obligations arising from treaties and other sources of international law can be maintained, and to promote social progress and better standards of life and larger freedom. And for these ends to practice tolerance and live together in peace with one another as good neighbors, and to unite our strength to maintain international peace and security, and to ensure, by the acceptance of principles and the institution of methods, that armed force shall not be used, save in the common interest, and to employ international machinery for the promotion of the economic and social advancement of all peoples, have resolved to combine our efforts to accomplish these aims. Accordingly, our respective governments, through representatives assembled in the city of San Francisco, who have exhibited their full powers found to be in good and due form, have agreed to the present Charter of the United Nations and do hereby establish an international organization to be known as the United Nations. Jamaica Constitution Chapter 3, the expressed written chartered laws, Section 13-024. Charter. First, a charter can be defined broadly as the highest law of an entity. More specifically, 1. In corporate law, the Articles of Incorporation. 2. In public law, the instrument by which a municipality is incorporated, e.g., city charter. This type of charter includes the highest laws of the municipality and its organizational structure. 3. In legislative law, a government act that establishes a publicly funded business or undertaking. The Constitution as amended 2011 by assent is the primary and the supreme law for the island nations Jamaica, now called Jamaica. The Jamaica Constitution derived its authority from the 1948 British Nationality Act, then on to the 1962 Jamaica Independence Act, then on to the 1962 Jamaica Constitution, Order and Council, to the present 2011 Jamaica Constitution as amendment by assent. Within Chapter 3 of the Jamaica Constitution, there are expressed written chartered laws that are guaranteed and secured by the Savings Law Clause, making any challenge to these chartered sections not within the court's jurisdiction to hear, essentially upholding said expressed written chartered laws. Any party to a legal process or proceedings who alleges that a fundamental rule of natural justice has been infringed in the course of the determination of his case could in theory seek collateral relief in an application to the High Court under Section 6 subsection 1, with further right of appeal to the Court of Appeal under Section 6, 4. Why collateral relief? The collateral, the asset used as the surety. Collateral, noun, for something pledged as security for repayment of a loan, to be forfeited in the event of a default. Could it be the beneficiary trust certificate, birth certificate on paper, is what was pledged as surety for the national debt, and or the commercial financial business transactions in the public? Merits. Law. The intrinsic rights and wrongs of a case, outside of any other considerations. Example, an accused man or woman who has a good arguable case on the merits. On the merits. 1. The phrase, on the merits, refers to a case whose decision rests upon the law as it applied to the particular evidence and facts presented in the case. This is in opposition to cases whose decisions rest upon procedural grounds. 2. The distinction between decisions that rest on the merits rather than on procedural grounds is important because a decision on the merits is considered final and is thus bound by res judicata. 3. If a decision is bound by res judicata, the parties involved in the case may not later raise those same claims in a subsequent case. Instead, a party that disagrees with the decision must appeal the decision, file a motion for a new trial, or file a motion to reconsider. 4. Court decisions that do not rest on the merits, such as procedural, however, are not bound by res judicata because the claims were not properly heard. Why are these procedural claims deemed not properly heard? Because those claims are brought unlawfully, outside the jurisdiction of such claimants. Again, to be clear, the administrative proceedings, procedural, contrary to a judicial proceeding, merits, does not apply the law as it applied to the particular evidence and facts presented in the case. 5. Thus, these procedural claims may be brought forth in a subsequent case, excluding dismissals due to a failure to state a claim. 6. Given that these facts are true, it is safe to say, a decision that rests on procedural grounds, such as the traffic court decisions, is improper without the expressed written chartered law as it is applied under the Constitution as amended 2011 to the particular evidence and facts presented in the case. Evidence. Law. Information given personally, drawn from a document, or in the form of material objects, tending or used to establish facts in a legal investigation were admissible as testimony in court. For without certified evidence to validate a claim, the conspiratorial police, judge, and or court clerk can never win the case, even if they choose to bring a fictitious charge. Fact. Noun. A thing that is indisputably the case. Law. The truth about events as opposed to interpretation. The attorneys acting as judges will usually try to interpret the laws, which are already interpreted and expressed by way of a written charter, to satisfy their own agendas. We, the people who are cognizant, must invoke the proper law or the appropriate legal system. The mere fact that that law is written and expressed crystal clear within the Constitution as the Charter Bill of Rights, or the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms, is an obvious self-evidence that is unseen by most.
Give thanks and praise to the mystic laws of the universe and its protective functions and forces in nature that guide our thoughts and our part in all ways that are lawful, correct, and positive. We do give thanks and praise. Again, with us share information, bringing honorable clarification. Yeah, man, grassroots expression. We try to attain clarity so we can function appropriately. And most of our people out there clueless of all of these kind of information where I'm on. We choose to share it freely, clueless. And as such is an area where one can choose to apply themselves. Don't take my word for nothing at all. Apply yourself to validate or verify or to dismiss the information we present. I'm on share information in an effort to clarify our expression of being free, our advocacy of freedom. And when we say freedom, we are talking about free dominion, free domain, freedom. And as such, we can't move towards freedom without truth. You know what I mean? And at least we have to work with the truth that is expressed out there in writing, the written express information where we can verify or validate or point to. Now, I'm always an advocate for the fundamental rights and freedom, which are secured and guaranteed by all constitutions out there. Within all these constitutions, you will find what is known as the Bill of Rights Clause or the Charter of Fundamental Rights Clause or the Civil Liberties Clause. Again, the Constitution is a huge document with probably more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different chapters. Speaking on the island here, for the mainland, they wouldn't use chapters, they would use articles. The foundation of the mainland, United States of America, was established from what is known as an Article of Confederation. So this is what validates the fact that the United States of America, as it is styled and expressed, is in fact a corporation because they might use corporate law to express it just like what we just read. But again, them information here will slide over people and again because of the frequency, because of the distraction where distort the people's frequencies that are going. And we get to understand, say, yeah, it has to be so. There is no way the truth can be presented in front of people and people walk right by it and attach themselves to fallacies. No way, unless them are vibrate on some low frequency or some other frequency. So we just there for bring clarity in our way, in our form, grassroots. Yeah, in the simplest expression, simplest form. Yeah, we try to avoid the complexity. So it would definitely take much longer to express a lot of these simplicities. Remember, we have to help people to unlearn the nonsense they have been learned throughout their generations. You have to break the generational curse. Somebody have to stand up. Usually the black sheep from most family are not necessarily the spoiled sheep. You have what is known as the black sheep, where wrong or right, you're just at the outsider. And then you have the spoiled sheep, the ones them where everybody favor, but most of the time really incompetent, inept, and probably trashy. Spoiled. Don't take my word for it, don't own an analysis out there. That's all it is. That's why I say when I talk, it upsets some people. My information is thought provoking. Yeah, man. And it will stir all kind of different emotions within ones and ones when I prepare for truth, for raw truth, for unpolished truth. Yeah, man. It will irritate ones and ones. However, it now gonna stop the fact where if I bring them kind of information, somewhere along the line, others are gonna have to present it out there. Without this kind of truth, then you're gonna have ones where I got come into existence and leave the existence clueless. Put it that way. Yeah, man. That's why we fire burn the label of being a fool. You can only be a fool if you don't know some things where you're supposed to know. You never can be a fool if you don't know the things and where you just do not know. And the only way you're going to know are when you choose to apply yourself by being, either say curious or you ask questions. You understand? You know, just assume that this is how it's supposed to be because I tell you that that's how it is. No. That's why I don't try to suppress critical thinking. Them don't want you to use your own brain anymore. Them want you to use AI. That's why when me I use AI, me I use AI war like he's right there or it is right there in front of me. You can't just tell me nothing on me, say yeah. I'm gonna tell you say you're out of order who program you with that nonsense. Correct that. And then you're gonna bring information where the AI have to look upon and say, okay, you're correct. But most of the people are jumping on the AI and say, AI, what is this? And AI then say, it is that, and then just go live their life that way. Nonsense. Where is your exercise of your mental capacity? You never can be able to think critically. Because like the AI now, no want you to learn nothing no more. And when you ask AI and you want to research to qualify or challenge some of the information where it's being incorrect, then how you gonna ever learn or improve? But then again, that's the agenda. So just a selected few people are gonna try move away or outside of that kind of system. Put it that way. It's like you're there in the world, but you're not really of the world. You're not really a participating in what the world are deal with, but you're there. That's why I use a distinction with the world, which is a man-made construct concept, and then the earth. You understand? And that are just on the physical level. You want to take it up to a next level and want to say spiritual is a whole different set of reasoning again. But for the base level, or our base people there, we have to have a way out. We can't depend on no foreign, no one at all, period. At the moment we start learn from the ones them we have to look within, and the ones them start choose to look within. You understand? And stop watch what going outside. Really what I manifest inside, you would say matriculate outside. And you have to can see it and laugh at it or participate in it. You have to know these things, but again, a step-by-step process. As they go along, you develop, you improve, but you're not going to do it without your self-application. You won't get there. I tell me to apply myself so you can get there. It don't work that way. And this is where I defeat a lot of people. And I said I'm lazy. Most people don't have the interest or the time. But again, usually when a huge catastrophe manifests itself and a lot of people find that they don't have no option because of their own decisions, then that's when you're going to see people start scrambling. Yeah, man, and the nonsense COVID experience was obvious. A lot of well-thinking people went and take that vaccine, and them supposed to be well-thinking people, only to destroy themselves. Yeah, man. You can't trust ones on ones when a qualifier are credible. And this is our problem. If the demonic political system put up any kind of ones up there and say, hey, this is the low IQ ones and worship that imagery, them not ask no question, them not ask the credibility. In fact, they either need for type in the Jamaica Trust. September 16, 2019, Jamaica Trust. And just scrutinize that. And would I love to hear somebody discuss that instrument, preferably one of these prominent attorneys. You understand? These political attorneys. Let's express to us what is the Jamaica Trust and why is the name or the word Jamaica removed from the birth registration form. Why is that? Oh, nobody not asked that question. Or am I the only one who noticed that? Remember, this island nation is supposed to name Jamaica. So why we don't know nothing about the Jamaica Trust, and why is the Jamaica Trust just expressing a 2019? And who initiated that? People, type in the Jamaica Insolvency Act of 2014. Do your own basic research and ask these politicians and these judicators and these fancy talking attorneys to express and explain to you in layman terms all of these instruments. The Jamaica Insolvency Act, have them express it, explain it, to have Diane, what is her name? Yeah, that nice lady will always beat up the Prime Minister and things. Diane Waters, Diane Saunders, Diane Miller, I think that's what her name. Diane Miller or Diane Miller Jackson, something like that. Have her pull up the Jamaica Insolvency Act and have her give her own dissertation on it. And have her do the same with the Jamaica Trust, September 16, 2019. Since none of the attorneys might not tackle it or try to step up, but she have some legal background where rate out there. So have her express these things. Not get caught up in other nonsense. You understand? Boy, it's amazing. It is amazing out there, people. Anyway, as usual, we now go too tarry with us share them kind of information. You have to bring clarity and for make some of these public entities aware. So we know say we don't have to have a bond, meaning we don't have to insure, meaning we don't have to have some kind of oath or affirmation of allegiance to do what is proper. Not what we don't want to do. Not what on a thieving criminal boss are telling us to do. Or on subscribe on this oath. That's why I say individually a lot of you going to have to pay, but you don't need to stay on the boss's head separate from its body. And then we know say justice out there. Then everybody else are going to fall in line. That's why I said the JLP election come here. I tell you, say I'm going to get prosecuted for all those alleged criminality. So some of these police are going to get record, through them now get fit, convict, there are sure conviction that the Prime Minister who is them boss, them now go have to worry about the forensic audit to them as police officers. We have how much billions of dollars in a property and cash and all kind of other things. How them accumulate these things when most of them come out of country bush where them now no street light now no running water with pipe. How? What kind of deal them and the Prime Minister's office engaging of the police can say them a multi-millionaire when them little regular $5 million police salary? I don't know if I so much them on it. No, me don't know nothing about them payments and these things. The other day I was amazed when me hear the opposition leader said people are make between $5 and $6 million a year, and this are the regular common people. That's I'm like, what? How them amount minimum wage to them figure that for the year? So the minimum wage people them really clueless, you know. Hey, minimum wage people, let me tell you a secret. If all I own way I get minimum wage besides, then watch out. They're gonna just hold out for even a few, you know. Yeah, man, me I go up on a rapid strike and done. But now I do nothing. Just the minimum wage people. Everybody else can go and go do what they want to do. But make the minimum wage people and just go up on a strike. I'm not gonna say what happened. Them treat the minimum wage people like trash. That's why them calling them minimum wage job. When a sodomite politician we don't do nothing at all but dance in a lingerie in a them gay orgy party, I get millions of dollars. You, I get minimum wage. And you run up and down bound and participate in this nonsense. Let me give you something to do. All you have to do, just tell yourself, say, watch it, let's say next week, and the other week, and the other 3 weeks, make we just work and save some money. We're not gonna party and we're not doing nothing. We are gonna strike for 6 months and see how it goes. Just try. But man, I don't know how to make those kind of sacrifice. You understand? So not changes now, gonna. If the minimum wage people and stop work, the system going shut down. You just not know that. Yeah, know. That means the middle class ones them will feel like them cockatoo at them now I forgot drive the garbage truck and pick up the garbage. Add for them mid-level standard of payment. And the minimum wage people stay home. Anytime the people realize what really are going, it will change, but it not going to change with not just one individual. The one individual can be the one where raise the alarm, shine the light, bring the truth. You understand? But it go up to the ones them to acknowledge the truth and apply the truth. You can't say justice is blind. I mean, you can't show you the law where they're right there. You have to say justice has been sold. It's been corrupted. And all judicators is aware of that corruption. Why? Because they have to subscribe their oath or affirmation of allegiance to uphold the very laws and rules and to serve the people, not property, not corporations. The people are the most important thing there. It's like when they're on the road and people are drive them car and them big bike and them go on with themselves. I'm going to tell you, say them are done out there because them no mind run over you or like them want run you off of the road. And one of the very first thing we are going to learn when you're going to learn how to drive anything at all, it's going to say the pedestrian have the right of way. Literally. Why? Because that's life right there. But in our society, in the known world, and change up all of these things. That's why I'm saying, and not even the earth is out of course. Yeah, but the world, a fictitious area where them impose on us, where them, yeah, corrupt our perception. Yeah, man. But that's the issue. But as time go by and people share accurate information, then yeah, step by step, a day at a time, one by one, people just jump out of the nonsense and then demand truth. That's all it is. It's all about truth. Yeah, that's where it comes down to. That's why we say to the Most High Creator of nature. Yeah, man, because only that's where you find true sovereignty, and absolute truth. That is it. Anyway, give thanks for the time, give thanks for the moment. And I know our style would have shared the information to bring clarity to the ones that were needed, not necessarily to the greedy. There are some people, all them want to hoard information and can't apply absolutely nothing at all. So we have to encourage the ones them where choose to apply themselves. Yeah, man, step out there, do the thing. Right or wrong, make your effort. Make your effort. Write your name in our sand. Make your foot mark down there. You alone can do it, people. Chant freedom. Chant freedom. Live free.
I know everybody I go like we, I go like, still we irie. Come in on love likes, in a dancehall style. I know everybody I go like, still we irie. Cause we not love life, no. So every time I rise, we do it for the love, and I do it for the lights. Do it for the love, and I do it for the lights. Do it for the love, and I do it for the lights. Do it for the love, and I do it for the lights. Make them know success don't come overnight. No man you know a substance over hype. Do it for the love, and I do it for the lights. Enough of them love lights, that's alright. Sit down on a post and a tweet all night. See them on social media type. While like say them they a studio advice. Oh, me never put them up on no flight. And me never see them a live no tour life. You miss someone now you have so much likes. I'm always still a lead for iTunes. Simple mean we not ready yet. If you put the music first, that's all. While we there on the war and the hype. Free work, that's all. When you see me, yes, I see I. And every tune when we never write. And every show where we end night. No, we not do it for the likes, but we tell them we do it